Clients are like the fuel for every business. If you don't have clients, you can hardly exist, no matter how great product or service you have. So how do you make sure that you have enough clients so you have the peace of mind to focus on what you love the most, your business? Hello everyone, my name is Cristiano Zunchev, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you 6 steps that you can use to land high-ticket clients for any type of business without spending money on ads and just by using your email and social media profiles. I'm really excited about this video because what I'm going to share with you is so powerful that if you implement it, you will really be able to get a constant flow of new customers. On the other hand, it's super simple and I want to explain it in an easy to implement way that you can start using right away. So we have 6 steps here. The first one is simply picking your target. Then you have to create your pitch, send the messages, send this pitch, then you do remarketing, then you follow up, and then you do a phone call to the people who didn't respond to any of the previous activities. So what is picking your target? Picking your target is identifying the companies that you want to become your customers. To give you an example with my company, Young Caesar, we do marketing, as you probably know. So basically almost every company under the sun can be a potential customer of ours, but I really don't want to work with everybody. For example, I love working with manufacturers, with big product manufacturers. For example, such manufacturing industry is the concrete grinders industry. So how do I identify concrete grinder manufacturers to work with? Well, I simply go to Google and I open all of the results in order to find the companies that I believe would be a great fit for us. Then I list all of them in a separate sheet where I'm going to collect their email, the decision makers' first names. I will also note how many clients we can bring them. I will note their competitors. I will note their LinkedIn profile, their Instagram and Facebook if needed. So once I picked my targets and I listed their websites in the sheet, what I need to do is to find the decision maker, find their email, find their phone, find their LinkedIn, find their Facebook, and find their Instagram. There are many tools that you can use to get these done. I personally use hunter.io. If you don't like this tool, you can just go to Google and find any alternatives. And by doing this, we're pretty much set with point number 1. We have a very detailed sheet with all of the prospects, all of our potential customers. And now we're going to step number 2, creating your pitch. This is probably the most important step of all of those 6, and let me show you what it is all about. As you probably know, pitch is what you're going to say to present yourself and your company to a stranger, to a potential customer, to attract their attention and want them to listen to you. And now here I have the structure that I use for creating this perfect pitch. If you go to Google, you can find so many different templates and methodologies that people are using. I'm personally using this one because it works best for us. I start with a hook, with a personalized hook to show the people, to show the person that I know who they are. I did some research and this is a personal email, not just another spammy email that they're occasionally getting. Then the second part of the structure of my email is identifying a pain point. What is a pain point that their business is having and that you can solve? The third point is agitating that pain point. Why it's so important, why it's so painful. You need to explain this. And in the end, you need to offer a solution. Here on the right, I have a checklist for you with all the questions that are coming in your prospect's head. When you write down your pitch by following this structure or any of the other structures that you find online, you would want to ask those questions and see if your pitch is actually responding to them. How is your pitch unique? What is it in it for me? How do I know it's real? What's holding me back? Why now? And why should I trust? These are all questions that a potential customer would ask himself when they're reading your pitch. So you need to make sure that you're covering each and one of them. Now we're going to the third step, which is sending the messages, which is pretty much straightforward. You can do this manually just by using your email, your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram profiles, or you can use any of the tools that are out there. For example, you can use Phantom Buster to send messages on social media, or you can use Lemlist to send email sequences. Lemlist is a great tool. They have amazing templates that you can use for inspiration, and yeah, they really work great. I don't have much more than this to say. So the third point is all about sending this pitch to all of the targets that we already identified in step 1. Now we're going to step number 4, which is remarketing. For those of you who don't know what remarketing is, here is a simple illustration to help you understand the process. It's basically the process where when an internet user visits your website and leaves it, you can show them ads anywhere on the web where they go. For example, they visit your website, they leave it, and then they go to YouTube, and an ad pops. And then they go to Facebook, and again, they see your ad. Or they go to Instagram, and they see your ad. Or let's say that they're reading a news article on Forbes, and bam, they see your ad again. Doing so is super powerful, and it will constantly remind them of yourself. So if you want to remarket the people who saw your message, you really need to have a link inside your pitch. Because if you don't have a link inside your pitch, you cannot send them to your website. And if you don't send them to your website, you can hardly remarket those people. Now, the 5th step is follow-up. If you've been into sales and marketing, you probably know that this is the biggest sales secret of all time. And this is what all the gurus and biggest marketing names of all time, like David Ogilvy and Claude Hopkins, are saying. Follow-up is really important. And in fact, not so many people are doing it. Follow-up is simply reminding your prospect about yourself. Because usually when you send a message, you can hardly get a response from the first time. And follow-up doesn't simply mean like sending messages like, hey, did you read my email? Hello, and just spamming the prospect. You need to follow up by adding value. So think about how you can add value with each of your follow-up. This is super important. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how important following up is and how we were able to land a huge client within 1 year of following up with them. Then the 6th step is pretty straightforward, phone calling. I usually phone call all of the prospects that I couldn't reach through any of those channels, or people who showed interest but stopped responding. Very often my messages are going to spam, or they're just not seeing them. So the best way to avoid this is just giving them a phone call. This pretty much summarizes the whole thing. Again, you need to identify the people which you want to work with, craft your pitch, send them this pitch, remarket them, follow up, and do a phone call in the end. I really love this process because you don't have to pay anybody. It's not like running Facebook ads where you have to pay Facebook, or you don't have to pay Google, you don't have to pay anybody. You can do this completely for free, and it's super powerful. Now, I want to show you a couple of examples from our work on how we send the messages, how we remarket people, and also the follow-up process. Okay, so now I want to show you some real results of implementing this workflow that I just been showing you in the past few minutes. And here I opened my Instagram, my email, and my LinkedIn profiles in order to show you a couple of examples of how this is actually working. So in the past, I was sending messages from my personal email, from my personal account. Now I'm sending them from the company account. But here you can see this is from 2018, and we converted these guys into customers. You can see they have a verified profile, they're a serious company, and we've been working with them for a couple of years. So what I did was just said hello. I told them what I have to offer, and then in the end they said, okay, that sounds great, but please contact our marketing coordinator. So I did contact their marketing coordinator. We had a pretty long email conversation here. I presented my proposal, then we hopped on a call, and in the end, as you can see here, he prepared a contract and we started the work. Here is another one. Again, this is from 2018. This guy has a huge company, and we are working with them since 2018 to up to date. What I want to point out here with Instagram is that it's very easy to get to contact the decision maker, because you can send them a DM message, send a message under one of their posts. And what is important is not to be salesy and spammy like most people are doing. What you want to do is think of a catch, something catchy that you can write that can attract their attention and get them to respond. In my case, I said, hello name, are you up to collaboration with other young people? You can see that this is pretty vague, but it raises curiosity. So he responded, yeah, what do you have in mind? And then I started explaining, and we had this very long conversation, and in the end, we turned them into a customer. I was also talking about follow-up and why it's so important. Well, let me show you. So this is a conversation that one of my sales assistants forwarded to me. It is from February 2020. And it says, hey Chris, you're right. We get a ton of these solicitations every day. What makes you different? You mentioned some analysis you already performed. Send it over and yeah, so on. So basically, we started communicating. We had a very long communication. The guy was very busy, but after all, he runs a huge factory. But I didn't stop following up with him. And you can see here, July 27th of 2020, I sent him a message again. Meanwhile, I was also sending them a ton of messages. Like I said, I'm not just spamming them. I'm trying to add value with each one of my emails. So the guy said, hey Chris, I'm getting your emails. Just have been very buried with work lately. We have a virtual event we're doing in a few weeks, and after that we can meet in August. So I contacted him again in August. We set up a call, and now they're a client of ours. And this is the power of follow-up. If I stopped contacting these guys, they would never become a client of ours. Here is one example from LinkedIn as well. I sent the guy a message. He said, hey Christian, I would like to talk later next week with you. We're very busy at the moment. I said, okay, no problem, Tuesday or Friday, and we scheduled a call. This is pretty much the process. Process is very straightforward. The hardest part is to get somebody to respond to you, because people are really spammed nowadays, and unless you stand out, you can hardly get noticed. Now here are some examples of email responses that we're getting. You can see I'm sending, this guy responded after my first message, and he said, sure, you can call me. And yeah, I did so. I contacted them, I sent them a proposal, and that's pretty much the process with all of the prospects. Here is another one showing why following up is great. He said, hey Christian, I like your attitude. You never give up. Because I've been following up with this guy for months again, so it seems like they really respect this. Here is another one. This guy said, man, you're a man on a mission. Sure, I'm interested. I've been following up with him for a couple of months as well. He responded initially. I sent him an offer. He said he's not ready yet because he's too busy. Then I followed up again, and now we were able to schedule a call. Here is another one. He said, sounds good. Then I sent them a proposal with more information about what we're offering. Here is another one. Another guy who is flattered by the numerous complimentary emails and appreciate the persistence, because again, I've been following up with them for months. Another one, I'm interested, send me pricing, rates, packages. Usually we get only like 3 responses. One is I'm not interested. The other one is I'm interested, send me prices. And the third one is let's schedule a call. Here is another one, the guy saying, hey, I've been slammed. Let's get this together. I'll put you with my assistant. Let's get together to the money end and start working. One more, let's talk Friday. What's the time zone you're in? Thank you. And here is another one. Your lead nurturing campaign is very persistent. I have availability at this time. Let's chat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys like this presentation. If you have any questions about it, if you need any help with crafting your pitch, picking your targets, collecting the data, or whatever it is, don't hesitate to contact us. We're happy to help, looking to create goodwill and help you get more customers. Thank you so much for your time. Wishing you a blessed day, and see you next time. Bye.